What if I told you the most cunning political mind in history accidentally uncovered why God seems so quiet? It's 1513 in Florence, Italy. Niccolò Machiavelli is in exile, scribbling ideas that will forever reshape our view of power. But hidden in chapter 25 of The Prince lies a message so deep it reveals why your prayers seem ignored, your progress feels stalled, and why God's timing often looks like divine delay. By the end of this, you'll realize God's not yet isn't rejection, it's next level strategy. And more than that, you'll learn how to use this timeless principle to level up your job, relationships, and life choices starting now. Because what Machiavelli understood about jumping the gun is why leaders fall, kingdoms collapse, and prayers get answered, but on God's schedule, not yours. Picture this. You're Cesare Borgia, the most feared man in Renaissance Italy. You've got armies, riches, and the Pope as your dad. You seem invincible until suddenly you're not. Machiavelli saw Caesar's fatal flaw up close, a mistake that wrecks anyone trying to take control too early. He called it the premature use of force. And honestly, it's the same mistake you make every time you show your cards too soon. Machiavelli wrote something powerful. Listen closely. It flips everything. He who gives up what is for what ought to be ends up destroying himself. In other words, when you act on what should happen instead of dealing with what is, you're setting yourself up to lose. But Machiavelli didn't stop there. He found something even more critical. The most successful rulers, the ones whose legacies outlasted generations, had one trait in common. They mastered the power of waiting. He realized that failed leaders always rushed in. They confused wanting to act with needing to act. But the ones who succeeded, they knew something crucial. Timing changes everything. Whoever controls the timing controls the result. And that's when it hit me. What if God works the same way? Think about it. Every major biblical figure followed this strange rhythm, a big promise followed by a long silence. Abraham is told he'll have a son at 75. Isaac shows up when he's 100. Moses gets called, then waits 4 decades in the desert. David is anointed king young, but doesn't wear the crown until he's 30. Even Jesus waits 30 years to begin a 3-year mission. Maybe this isn't God stalling. Maybe it's divine strategy. Look at David. He had 2 chances to kill Saul. He had the motive, the support, the opportunity, but he didn't take it. Why? Because he understood something. Machiavelli would write centuries, later jumping. Too soon doesn't just backfire, it ruins your future credibility. If David had killed Saul, people wouldn't see him as king, they'd see him as a traitor. Instead, he waited. He let the people want him on the throne. That's not weakness, that's elite strategy. And during all those years on the run, God wasn't punishing David, he was shaping him, building the kind of strength no title can give, the kind of heart that wouldn't let power ruin him. Machiavelli said it's better to be feared than loved, but both at once is rare. David managed both. How? Not by scheming, but by patiently becoming the right man for the job. So when you're begging for that next step, that open door, that answer to prayer, and God is quiet, maybe he's not ignoring you. Maybe he's timing things with surgical precision. Maybe if he gave it to you now, it would wreck you. Let's break down the Machiavellian rules behind divine timing. Rule 1. Information is everything. Machiavelli said never move without full intel. God won't give you a yes until he knows the timing. People and circumstances are aligned. I know someone who prayed to leave their job for 3 years, felt ignored. Then COVID hit, layoffs happened. They got a severance and landed their dream job at twice the pay. God wasn't late. He was lining things up. Rule 2. Let the enemy wear themselves out. Machiavelli taught that sometimes the smartest move is to step back and let your opposition burn out. The Red Sea? God waited until there was no escape route left. Then he stepped in. Now we still talk about it, 3,000 years later. Rule 3. Prepare the person. This is the hardest one. Machiavelli saw that when leaders aren't ready, even the right opportunity destroys them. God's not withholding your answer because he's cruel. He's holding back because you're not ready yet. The version of you today might not survive the weight of what you're asking for. But here's the thing most people don't even realize when they're making early power plays. You've been at your job for half a year and want a promotion. You think your skills qualify you, but you haven't built trust, proved your value, or shown consistency under pressure. Machiavelli would say you're showing your hunger before proving your worth. Or you're 3 weeks into dating and already thinking about moving in. You think it's love, but it's really rushing intimacy without foundation. Machiavelli knew that real power isn't taken all at once. It's earned bit by bit. Same with hearts. Or maybe you just got a little money and want to quit your job to launch a business. But no testing, no savings, no customers. That's not boldness. It's risking everything and calling it faith. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying don't take bold steps. I'm saying take smart ones at the right time with the right prep. So how do you apply Machiavellian timing in real life? Ask yourself these 4 things before you make any big move. What info am I missing? Who's involved that I haven't factored in? What could go wrong? What would change if I gave this 6 more months? Want a raise? Don't just build your case. Understand what pressures your boss is under, what your replacement costs, and where the company's headed. That's not manipulation. That's awareness. Ask yourself, are you really ready? If that promotion landed tomorrow, can you lead well? If you met your ideal person today, could you build something lasting? If your business took off right now, can you handle the growth? Sometimes God's no is just not yet, because he's protecting you. Machiavelli also said, know your opposition better than they know themselves. That's not paranoia, it's smart planning. Want to lead a change at work? Know what resistance you'll face. Interested in someone? Understand their fears. Launching something new? Know what could flop. The goal isn't to twist people. It's to see problems coming before they trip you up. But here's what Machiavelli also got right. Eventually, waiting too long becomes more dangerous than making a move. Think Esther. Her moment came. She was prepared. She had the info. She was tested. It was time. How do you know it's your moment? 1, you're not just eager, you're ready. 2, your situation lines up with your preparation. 3, waiting longer now costs more than the risk of moving. 4, you're at peace, no matter the outcome. I waited 2 years before launching this channel. People thought I was hesitating, but I was studying, planning, building. So when I finally launched, I didn't hope it would work, I knew it would. That's when prayers get answered, not when you're panicking, but when you're positioned. God doesn't work on your deadline. He moves when you're prepared. So what shifts when you adopt this mindset? Your prayers shift from God, what's taking so long, to God, what are you shaping in me? You stop demanding and start listening. Your decisions shift. You stop acting out of fear and start thinking with strategy. You stop kicking down doors and start building the skills to walk through the right ones. Your peace shifts. Waiting stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like preparation. Delays stop being frustrating and start being formation. And your power shifts. You carry quiet confidence. You're not scrambling. You're steady. Because the moment you stop chasing your breakthrough like you need it yesterday, that's when it usually comes. Machiavelli knew the person who doesn't need power is usually the most ready to hold it. So here's your challenge. Pinpoint one area of your life where you've been pushing too fast. Maybe it's a relationship, a job change, a prayer you're begging to be answered. For the next 30 days, stop pushing and start preparing. Ask yourself, what can I learn in this season? What weaknesses can I work on? What strategy can I build behind the scenes? How can I quietly get ready so when the moment comes, I'm already positioned? And I promise when you sync your timing with strategic wisdom, when you let God teach you through the wait, your life will shift in ways you didn't see coming, because the same God who waited for the perfect moment to send, Jesus is the same God who's waiting for the perfect moment to release your answer. The real question isn't whether God will show up, it's whether you'll be ready when He does. If this gave you a new way to see divine timing, hit like. Subscribe for more deep dives on ancient strategy meets real-life wisdom. And drop a comment. What's one area in your life where you're choosing to prepare instead of push? Just remember, God's delays aren't Him saying no. They're Him saying, not yet. I'm building something better. The question is, will you be ready when the time is right?